You ready to get serious about building content sites and building a profitable business online? Welcome to the Niche Website Builders Podcast. We bring you the latest field-tested tips, tricks, and strategies for building a profitable online asset. We interview industry experts, share customer success stories, and reveal our own experiences working on hundreds of sites to inspire and motivate you to make something happen. Let's do this.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Niche Website Builder podcast and YouTube video. I'm speaking to a legend in the internet marketing space this week, Miles Beckler. Many of you probably know Miles, have at least heard of Miles, and he's got an awesome story to tell. From being heavily in student loan debt, like drowning in student loan debt, to working for literally years to establish a site which he runs with his wife, Melanie. To now being totally financially free, and he's still in his 30s, which is amazing. I mean, it sounds like he's living the dream. Literally, he can do what he wants, when he wants, and that's because of all these years of grind and hard work that he's put in. And while we talk a little bit about the technical aspects of his project, which I usually like to get into with lots of guests, this episode is more about mindset and the mindset shift that happened, which allowed him to scale beyond his wildest dreams. And without giving too much away, that mindset shift, was from how can I make money and how can I take things to how can I help people, how can I give value. And once he made that change in his life, he literally, things turned around. So I really enjoyed it. I learned a ton from this episode. I think you will too. Miles is a great guest. So let's get into it.
This episode is brought to you by Niche Website Builders, an agency dedicated to helping people just like you build profitable content sites. Niche Website Builders are the hands-off content site marketing agency you always wished existed. It's run by content site marketers for content site marketers, and they help both investors and individuals alike build profitable online properties. They provide a fully outsourced approach to content creation, link building, and done-for-you website builds, the same approach they use on their own six-figure portfolios. For example, their content packages come with a proprietary keyword research process, are written by in-house native English speakers, formatted using templates proven to convert, and uploaded to WordPress with affiliate links added so that all you need to do is hit the publish button. Check them out at nichewebsite.builders/show. That's nichewebsite.builders/show and fill out the form to get coupon codes for 10% more content or a 10% discount on links with your first order sent right to your inbox.
Hey Miles, how's things?
Wonderful. How you doing today, mate?
I'm good. I'm very good, thanks. I'm good. How was your holiday last week, your trip?
It was great. We got out to some very secluded areas out into the wild and some national parks and some 0G, right? Like got to get out of the 4G and the 5G, got to get down to the 0G every once in a while, and it felt great.
Yeah. How does it feel to, I know I'd have crazy anxiety leaving my business, maybe because it's structured different to yours, but leaving my business for a week, I would have some crazy anxiety right now. How does it feel to just turn off from work and business for a whole week?
Mate, it's the best. And so the kind of funny part is we were amidst a launch. So we literally left during a launch and we came back. I think we made like 70 grand or 75 grand from that launch while we were gone. Wow. So, the power of team, the power of the right people, the power of processes. Yeah. This is all stuff that I've been building and consciously geeking out on, right? Like I'm not just an active participant in business. I study the smartest and best business builders of the last 150 years. So I take things I've learned from Henry Ford and from all of these different people in the world and just apply them to our business to build a real business, right? Like this isn't a side hustle. Yeah. Like this is something that will continue to support me for the rest of my life. If I live to 120, who knows, maybe we can get that far. This business is going to support me to that and beyond. And when I'm done, it'll be donated to a good cause on the way out type thing.
Okay. I guess this is a little bit off topic, even, we've only just started, but with most businesses, it gets to the point where you are in the business and then you've got to transition out of the business to work on the business. How did you? And lots of business owners get stuck there. They're stuck at that point. They're continually working in the business, not on it. Like, how did you escape that trap?
One annoying task delegation at a time, right? Like we absolutely started when we literally just like it is chiseling away at a mountain with a spoon. And it's taken, so my wife and I started our business at this point in time 12 years ago. I've been making money online since 2003. So I actually have 18 plus years experience making money online. Did it completely wrong, every which way wrong for 7 years to learn all the ways not to do it. And then my wife and I, we caught on to something that started to click, which obviously we're going to dive into that. That was in about 2009. And I was so broke. I had $50,000 in student loan debt. I was working a full-time job, working nights and weekends to just try to create a side hustle, doing everything. And then when momentum starts to show up and income started to come in, I was wanting to reinvest it back in the business, right? Like really, like let's turn this into a business from a side hustle. So then it's like, well, how do I do this? Audible is incredible, right? On all of our cell phones with a Bluetooth pair of earbuds or earphones or whatever, you can literally learn from the most brilliant minds in the world. I think way too many people watch too much YouTube, and I think way too many people listen to too many podcasts. No offense. I have quite a few YouTube videos for, I'm in that. But the truths from the Napoleon Hills, the Wallace Wattles, the Henry Fords, the Andrew Carnegies, the truths of what it takes to build a real business still applies. And even if you go into direct response marketing, the truths that Dan Kennedy's been talking about for years and Jay Abraham, the greats, not the gurus who are around flashing today, but the greats of yesteryear, the David Ogilvy's, Eugene Schwartz, constantly studying. So study, improve, iterate, test, study, improve, iterate, test. Most tests fail, fall on my face, get back up, do it again, fall on my face, get back up, do it again. Execute relentlessly like that with 60 to 80 hour work weeks for 13 years, 12 years. And ta-da, I've got a lot of the pieces in the right places now. And then I started to transition in 2016 is when I started teaching everything I know on YouTube, which when we teach what we're doing, we actually learn it better. And so most people don't realize that my whole YouTube adventure was to help me gain even more clarity on what's working, why does this work, because I had to analyze my actions in order to explain what I was doing. So it was very much a selfish endeavor of putting up 700 videos in 5 years. And then that turned into a business in and of itself.
Awesome. No, I think you're right there. I mean, if you can teach it, then you fully understand it. Of those, I'm curious of those greats that you talked about there. I mean, there's probably thousands of lessons you've learned from them over the years, but can you pinpoint maybe one or two of them which have like been defining learning points for you that you've taken from some of these greats that you think that's literally changed my life or changed my thinking?
Yeah. So there's a audio program called Prosperity Consciousness on Audible. It's by Frederick Lehrman, and he helped me understand money, how to save, how to build wealth, I guess. And even like down to the Rich Dad Poor Dad, which it's kind of a fictional story, but it's still like the difference between assets and liabilities, right? So a lot of what I do with my money, I learned from studying those things. In the actual world of marketing, Eugene Schwartz, Breakthrough Advertising. Yes, it's a couple $100 book. You can get it for $125 from breakthroughadvertisingbook.com. It is on my shelf right here. Like literally, I've been through this. I've given this book away. I've bought thousands of dollars of these books to give to my teammates. It's that important of a book. And you can just go back. So David Ogilvy, Victor Schwab, John Caples, which he's probably over here. Yep, Making Ads Pay. From John Caples. So this is, and what these books get into is direct response marketing. This gets into, I'm going to craft an offer, and I'm going to run an advertisement, and I'm going to see if I can get someone to buy my thing. Sorry for the sound of the books slamming on the ground. And so we use Facebook ads for this, but in the old school, they used magazine ads and direct mail. And our lives, like nothing's changed. It's the same game. It's the same process. We're just using different media is the actual shift, and everybody thinks it's all different. And now I need to follow the $10,000 gurus and the furus. But when you just study what worked with direct mail and magazine ads, and we apply it to this day and age, magic can happen. And they mastered this business, the direct response world. They mastered it. They had it completely scientifically figured out. Jean-Claude Hopton's scientific advertising, they had it figured out down to the maths in, I don't know, 1950, 1960. And ever since then, we've just been back and forth fiddling with it. And like, yeah, there's new media, but the old school stuff works. So we started SEO because we had no money for advertising. So we started with content marketing to drive traffic. Then we had traffic. Now we can start to test offers on the traffic, opt-in offers, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, we shifted to reinvesting the profits we were making from the organic side of the business into sales funnels and paid ads to kind of essentially, double down on what's working, reinvest in our business to grow it to a new business. And then that grew, and then the income got big enough. Finally, I can pass off customer support. I got a support person. I can pass off WordPress development and updates. Oh, good Lord, got a person for that, and little by little, we started to reinvest in people and the kind of traffic sources and offers. And here we are.
Yeah. What's your split at the moment between paid media and organic then? Is it 50-50? Is it more of one, less of the other?
Oh, wow. I actually don't know. Full speed ahead with paid and riding the wave of organic traffic. So I could answer that from an effort perspective. So we're putting maybe 10 to 20% of our efforts towards the organic side of the game right now on our main brands. And we're putting 80% plus towards the paid side of things. It's so much more scalable. It's more scalable, more quickly. It's more measurable. I got punched in the face by the December algorithm update from Google on one of my niche sites, which is kind of expected. I've been around since the hummingbird, penguin, and panda days of 2010, 2011, 2012, and we survived all that. So I'm like, algorithm updates. It's just chasing the algorithm is a requirement if you are building 100% based on effort. When you have little bits of budgets to deploy, the potential for scale goes up drastically. And I'm blessed in a position to have more than I need to live the life of my dreams. So I have this surplus, and I would rather reinvest that in my business in buying more ads, more attention, than I would in putting it into doggy coins or Elon meme stonks personally.
Yeah. Okay. Do you, for this paid traffic to work, do you have to, I guess the linchpin is the offer, right? The product that you have to have a product. You can't just run this to a traditional affiliate site or something like that.
Well, I mean, technically you could. It's just more difficult. So I like to bring people onto email lists because when I get them on my email list, I have several opportunities to make a sale, right? Versus do you want to buy this thing? No? Okay. I just wasted 46 cents, $1.30, whatever that click cost was. Yeah. Versus, do you want this really great free thing that's actually going to help you? And then here's the magical part that people forget. I actually help them. Like literally my free stuff is so valuable that when they go through it, they have a shift. They have a transformation from the free level, and they really believe they can trust me. They're like, dude, I like this guy. I get comments all the time, people buying $1,000 affiliate marketing courses. And they've literally every day I get comments saying, Miles, your free affiliate marketing crash course is better than the $1,000 course. People are refunding $1,000 courses. So gurus do not like me very much because I give better content away for free. And embedded in there, of course, there's an affiliate link for hosting because that's a step in the process. Of course, there's an affiliate link for the theme that I use because that's a step in the process. But you're not going to build an affiliate site without buying hosting. And if you already have hosting, great. You don't need my affiliate link. So it puts like me, the content creator and the teacher, and the student, it puts us in the same path, a very positive win-win scenario. They can pick and choose the bits and pieces they want and need. And if they don't need any of that, they already have it. They just learn from my stuff. Great. It's good branding for me. Maybe eventually they'll take my recommendation for a keyword research tool, for example. Maybe they won't. I don't have to care because long-term, I just get to go promote my opt-in that's free, that's wonderful, that people love. They have a great experience with it. I make enough money to pay for the ads and a little bit more. Ta-da. Right?
No,
like that's awesome. The magic. That's it. Like, then I take the extra profits I made and I dump it into more ads, and then I get more people going through it. More people love what I'm doing, and I dump that money back into more ads. And the value is the brand, right? The Miles Beckler brand gets stronger, and you can see this through keyword searches around my name. There's thousands of searches around my name. You can see Miles Beckler affiliate marketing, Miles Beckler Facebook ad. Like people like the auto populate when you start to type in Miles Beckler into either Google or YouTube. The auto populate fills up. That's the power of brand. People are looking for my opinion. And I literally get emails and messages on social like, Miles, I'm going to go buy this thing. Do you have an affiliate link for it? Like, Miles, I'm going to go buy Samcart right now. Do you have an affiliate? And I'm like, absolutely. And that's going to make me hundreds of dollars per year from that. And they take their time to ask me for my affiliate because I've done so much good by them. And it's like this core philosophy of do good. One great audio program I'm going through for like a fourth time right now is Zig Ziglar's See You at the Top. It's a seminar on Audible, and it's, you know, if you help enough people get what they want, you can have anything in this world that you want. And I've just gotten really good at helping lots of people get what they want.
No, yeah, I think that's the mindset difference between you and a lot of other people. Lots of people are looking for the instant gratification or the instant win, the instant money right now. Not how can I help someone and then, you know, maybe it comes back in the future.
Yep. How can I build the most trusted and liked brand in my space? Because when I've done that, I'm the de facto winner in the space. And then everyone else is compared to me, right? So people are buying $1,000 courses from Guru A or Guru B, and then they're comparing it to Miles's stuff. And they're like, damn, Miles's free stuff's even better than that. Bingo. Like the mental, the depth of that value, the value there, it's immense. And it is, I'm playing with a very long-term view on my cash flow, right? And that's like what you guys do. We actually talked about this on a previous call. You know, people probably don't understand, well, if you have this team who can build these affiliate sites and you just have a different cash flow time frame, you have a team of writers, you have people around you, you got to pay those writers. They're in school, they got college, they got bills, they got things they're doing. So you need to keep that cash flow circulating through every week, every 2 weeks, you recirculate your cash flow. Me, I don't need that cash back for a year or two. And I just want those monies to go grow. So I'm willing to pay your team. You get the short-term cash flow so I can build that long-term cash flow. And the bet or the theory, the bet I'm making on working with you guys is that the monies I put in today are going to pay out dividends in 5 years better than Elon meme stonks and doggy coins, right? And it's an asset that I could sell and that will generate cash flow, and doggy coins don't generate cash flow. So I'm not that interested.
That makes sense.
Am I beating up doggy coins too much? Are you really into doggy coins? Because that would be awkward, mate.
I've got some cryptocurrency, but I've not got any doggy coins to be fair.
All right, good. And I have some too.
I want to know about your. I mean, this mindset is great, and it's obviously changed your life in a big way and done lots for you. But did you always have that mindset? You know, going back, imagine going back when you had $50,000 of student debt, and you know you were living hand to mouth.
Go back before that. I was a piece of shit, mate. Straight up, like I was a piece of shit. Like I had it all wrong, and I had to do it wrong for years. So my first affiliate marketing win was in 2003. I was spamming MySpace. I was spamming MySpace with dating offers, literally, like fake profiles, just spam all day, ad friend all day. So I started on the dark side of the game. And every time I'd have a little win, I was making like $3,000 a month from that. It went to zero because they sold the company. And then I found this other little scheme that you could spin this up and do this, that, the other, and spin text and blah, blah, blah. And it worked for 3-4 months, and then it went down to zero. And I finally had a coming to the marketing gods moment of like, this is never going to work, right? Like trying to get things from people versus helping them get what they want. This is never going to work. And this was about the time I was just listening to some of these old books and going through some of this old stuff. And the first version of The Secret showed up, and somebody gave me Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich, which was written in the 1800s. And I started to realize that like there are laws on how this world works, right? Like there's cause and effect is a law in this world. Yeah. Everything we do has effects, right? And if you don't love what's going on in your world, that's because of all of the actions and the decisions you've made in the past. And I had this like, because I hated my life. Like I literally got to the point where I hated the life I had created, but I realized that it was my creation. Yeah, there's a lot of shit. Like we born in this, I'm born in a poor family. I get it. I was there. Like we had challenges growing, but like when I realized that like, man, I was just making dumbass decision after dumbass decision, thinking about me and me. Yeah. It wasn't working. So I was like, well, I got to try something else. And I trusted in those. And I just started like, how can I help people? That is like my dominant thought at this point in time. And when I shifted that, and my wife we both around the same time meditating a lot, and we decided, it was during the global financial crisis. Everything was difficult. Student loans were stacking up. I wasn't able to pay my student loans at all. and we were meditating. Excuse me, meditating was like the only thing that felt good. I was like, maybe if we share this with other people, maybe if we help other people, they'll feel good too. And that's where it started from, was like, let's actually just try helping people this time. And that shift, everything I touch now turns to gold, because it runs through that filter of, is this going to help people? So like my new opt-in, right? That affiliate marketing crash course that I spent weeks and weeks and weeks building out, and editors and running through draft after draft. Like I'm just constantly like, is this really the most helpful thing that these people have ever seen for free? Like now, okay, I can improve this, and just relentlessly. And then finally, when it was ready to go live, it was just like, here it is. This is the best thing. I could have charged for it. I actually had a moment thinking about charging for it, but then I would have just been another one of them. And I needed to continue to be different, because like, what's a USP, right? A unique selling. Everybody knows that phrase. Well, how do you be unique? Well, I just give all of the marketing information away for free, because there's enough people looking for it and buying hosting that the numbers do work in the long term for me.
That was what I was going to ask, is with that mindset, do you still make money from these products and stuff? Because it's still.
I mean, we're making 7 figures, dude. We did like 1.5, 1.6 million last year, right? Like so we're doing 100 and something, like 6-figure months every month, have for years, right? Like it does work, and it works beyond. So I was if only I could make 10 grand a month. If only I could make 10 grand a month, right? And now like my investments all have passive income of over 10 grand per month, right? And I could live on 10 grand a month forever, because my active income is so much higher, and I've been able to save just so much massively. And so what I'm getting at is the potential, when we really align with this, is so far beyond what we could see. I did not see this level of success I'm living. I had no fucking clue I was going to be able to make this much money in this life. No clue. It was 10x beyond my wildest dreams. Like when I was doing 30 grand a month, I was like, oh my God, like this is incredible. And it just kept growing and growing. Why? Because we're putting out great stuff that people love, that helps them. They go through it. They love it. It helps them. They buy our other stuff. They share it with their friends. They link to us. I've been linked to in dozens of blog posts and emails and social links in the last week. I haven't even published anything in the last, I was camping in the last week, and people are just recommending me to their friends and sharing my voice, like this podcast, for example, right? And it's because of the value of the brand through the efforts I've taken through the last several years.
No, that's great. That's awesome. Well, you kind of touched on it then. One of the your main revenue drivers is your main site, which is Ask Angels, which you run with your wife. And I want to talk a little bit in more depth about that site, because I mean, for our audience and for me as well, taking what we currently have as like affiliate sites or content sites and turning them into a brand is almost everyone's goal. Like they want to go from where they are now to that. And I kind of want to pick your brains a little bit about like how you did that. And I've broken it down into 3 areas. Like the first one is planning. So this is going back to like when you were starting the site, and it sounds like it was born out of a passion. You and Melanie were doing lots of meditation and wanted to share this. So my first question on this is did you plan to build this as an authority site from the start, or did it just naturally like develop into that over time? Or did you come into it with the mindset of like, this is it, this is going to be our brand, this is what we're going to do, and planned it all out?
No, it was mildly haphazard. My wife did not put her face or name on the website for at least 2 or 3 years. Okay. So we started like hiding behind the scenes, and it's not just like broad general meditation. It's like channeled angel meditation. So it's like way down the spiritual rabbit hole. Right. Yeah. And so at first we just let the content stand for itself. That was just what it was. It was just the content, and the content started to rank. And over time, it has evolved to the point where now we're starting to include, like on my wife's YouTube channel, it's now Ask Angels with Melanie Beckler, right? So we're bringing her more. So, and as we put her more in the forefront, and we put someone, a figurehead, an attractive character, if you will, to use other marketing guru language, it's working better because there's now a person that can be trusted. Right. And so you look in the world of like cryptocurrency, there's a lot of meme accounts, and there are a few people who are real actual people. It's difficult to trust a meme account on some of these things, right? It's like a crypto punk. It's like, I don't know if I can actually trust you. You got like this weird Pepe smoking, like I don't know if I actually trust your opinion on the topic, versus this person who's like Jameson Lopp, who's or Eric Voorhees, who's like a real person, and they're committing their life, and they're building in public. And that trust is everything in the long term. right? Like trust is something you can see it right now in the world at large with all of the health stuff going on. The one thing that's missing in every culture, society right now in our culture is trust. No one trusts anybody. No one trusts the people at the top. Nobody trusts anything.
Yeah.
And it's breaking down. So the opposite of that is when we do build trust and when we actually have trust with our audience, and people build trust faster than brands.
Yeah.
It's doable in both directions for sure, but the trust builds faster. Like if I had tried to do the Miles Beckler account as, nomad laptop lifestyle bro, .net, like it would not have grown as much as like, I'm Miles Beckler and I'm going to teach you this thing.
Yeah. And this is why, this is my experience, and this is why you should trust me, kind of thing.
And on the flip side of that, I'm the only Miles Beckler. So I have committed myself to being the only content creator. And my wife on that brand, we've never bridged the gap to getting outside content help. She's written pretty much everything. We've tried it several times. It has failed gloriously every single time. So with that brand, pretty much every post that's up live on that site is actually something that she wrote herself. So it kind of by definition adds work, but I think the long term and the longevity of the play is far superior. I think personal brands are, in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see more and more that the personal brands are everything. And if they aren't already, which I kind of think they actually already are. Yeah,
that's good. I was going to ask about content. We'll still come on to it in a second, but
sure.
The next one on my planning list was keyword research.
Yep.
Like, if you didn't, keyword planning for a brand new site where you don't plan for it to be an authority is totally different, I imagine, to what you do now. Like, do you remember how you approached it back then? And how's that changed over the course of last couple of years?
So we approached it full speed ahead. Right. Like, here's the theory. People are searching keywords. Keywords are representative of topics, questions, ideas that people are wanting answers to.
Yeah.
And they're finding blog posts. That's what fills Google. Okay. So someone searches a keyword and they find a blog post. Therefore, I'm going to go find every keyword that is relevant to angels and relevant to this world we play in, channeling, channeled angel messages, etc. And we are going to optimize a post to rank for every one of those. And we are going to go as fast as humanly possible. And we are going to get all of them, right? We are going to take the Pokemon approach before Pokemon, and we will catch them all. And so we just did. And in the early days, right, in 2009 and 2010, it was a 500-word post was sufficient. Okay, that was the game was 500-word posts back then. So I would research keywords. I would give my wife a short list of keywords that had good metrics, right? Good, decent difficulty scores, decent search volume. It's all relative, right? The difficulty score is relative to the other phrases on the list because it's all, we're following the relevance first. And then she chooses the one that she thinks would be mildly fun to write about. She thinks would be mildly easy to get done relatively quickly with minimal amounts of research. And then she wrote it and she published it. And then we did it again and again and again and again, like it was our fucking job, because it was our fucking job for years before the money showed up. And on that path, about 2 years in, we had a moment where we were like, man, I don't know if this thing's ever going to make enough money to pay for our lives. We were both working full-time jobs still. Okay. So this is 2 years of nights and weekends of doing 30, 40 hours a week for our business after doing 40 hours a week to earn the money to live for years on end. And we doubted that it would ever work. And we had a moment of like, you know what? This is what we're on this planet for. Like helping get this stuff out, these messages out, these meditations out. This is what we're here for. So whether it works or not, we're just going to keep doing it. And something shifted when we made that shift, and the money started to stack up. And we had a Kindle book that caught on really quick and did really well. That started generating a few $100,000 or a few $100 a month or to $1,000. I don't know. A few things, just things started to click because we kind of eased the pressure off a little bit, and we were just like, let's just do what we want. And now today, looking back at all of our traffic, so we still get millions of visits per month to that per year to that website, hundreds of thousands of visits per month to that website. And so looking back, there's a lot of phrases we get traffic for that aren't super relevant to the offers. Okay. There's a gap, right? There's these random generic spirituality ideas that they drive traffic. Now someone could build so John Dykstra. So he loves those kinds of phrases. He loves those. Like, it's not a merchantable keyword phrase. It gets tons of searches and clicks. Therefore, I could just stuff some Ezoic ads or some Mediavine ads up there, and voila, I'm making money. I don't like running ads. I do not like letting other people advertise on my stuff. My YouTube videos have no ads. Ads are gross. It's dirty. I want to run the ads. I don't sell the ads. But it's possible to say that there's a good business model there to be had because there's a little bit less competition, people. So now today, when she does write blog posts, we're looking back at the ones that are more relevant to the offers that we have, because there's a more direct path for a user who searches a question on Google and finds a blog post to take an action that could get them on our email list that could ultimately help them become a customer for life. And I know the average value of my customer. I know the lifetime value of my members. I know the lifetime value of my customers who do not become members. So I want to create pathways for people who don't know who we are, but they're searching on Google, okay? Back to Eugene Schwartz, they're problem aware or they're solution aware. They're looking for something, and I want to meet them on Google with a piece of content that truly helps them. And then we have a content upgrade that offers them something for free to further help them. And then there's a follow-up sequence, and then there's emails, and there's offers throughout there to see if they want to actually buy our stuff, because a lot of people want to buy stuff. And before we were kind of timid to sell, and now we make sure our offers get a lot of eyeballs on it. And people thank us for our offer. People thank us for selling them things, because our stuff we create helps.
Yeah. No. Do you think because there's definitely a divide between display ad, putting display ads on the site and then running your own offers. Do you think that was influenced from back in the day when you were spamming dating offers? You obviously saw the potential of running your own offers. Do you think that influenced it? Because the easy route is just display ads, right?
Yeah, but that's also the lowest profitability. No, I learned from the early direct mail guys, from the Dan Kennedys, the Jay Abrahams. I learned that the list is the most valuable part. Okay, and you've probably heard the phrase, "the money's in the list." That goes back to direct mail. That goes back to when people were putting stamps on envelopes. Gary Halbert, right? The number one most important thing is who is the audience. So when I knew I had a captivated audience, if I can't sell something to those people, that just means I am a shit marketer. Like, Jesus, come on, mate. Like, you call yourself a marketer here. Like, go sell you something, right? So it just meant I didn't know them well enough. I didn't know their needs well enough. I didn't know their problems and their challenges and their goals and their desires. And I didn't know them well enough. And to simply put ads up and make a couple of pennies per display or whatever it turns out to be is a cop-out. And it's okay. It's a very low effort thing, but I don't know. I mean, I don't, Dijkstra's doing very, very, very well for himself. I don't know many people playing the made for AdSense type website games that are doing 6-figure monthly type numbers, right? It's a different game. It has a big honking ceiling on it. And, 1 or 2 algorithm updates and you're gone, versus having a list of customers, having a list of prospects. Those email lists will, like, the value there is immense. I mean, 80-90% of my income comes directly from my email list.
Let me ask you something else then. So to do that and to be successful at that, you've got to have a deep knowledge of the niche and the needs and that kind of thing. I'm assuming you couldn't do this in a niche that you weren't passionate about or you didn't know much about, right? People go into niches because they think they're profitable, or they want to. But could you see yourself doing the same thing for? Oh yeah,
lavender soap, for sure.
Yeah,
I could dominate the lavender soap industry, like lavender industry, skincare. So do you know who Ezra Firestone is?
No.
So he runs Boom by Cindy Joseph. It's he puts Goop, or their makeup sticks. They're like foundation touch-up sticks, which were already a thing that was there, and it's for older women. So he is a 30-something-year-old dude who sells makeup correction stuff to women, and he's got an 8-figure business. So he does over $10 million per year, which for the mathematicians at home, that's over $833,000 and $333 per month. A dude selling makeup stuff to women. Do you think he's passionate about that, mate?
Probably not. No,
not at all. Right. This is what professionals can do. And it helped for me and my wife to be passionate about our industry because we were a part of our target market. So it did help us understand the challenges. So when I was hating the feeling of dragging around $50,000 in loans, student loan debt, and not making enough money and dragging all that shit around, hating my life because I felt like I was going backwards and I was going deeper into a hole every month. boy, I'm pulling on that today when I market to affiliate marketers who feel like they're in a hole trying to dig themselves out through affiliate marketing. I know what that journey was like because I went on it and I took the long path. I took way longer than folks today need to do. When I started, there was no YouTube. It was not a thing. It wasn't a thing for years. And when YouTube started, nobody started putting tutorials out on YouTube for a decade, right? So today I've put 700 videos out for free. So it's easier today, but the emotional journey that someone who's new has to go on, that emotional journey is the same journey, right? And I've been on that. So my ability to empathize with them and my ability to connect with them on that level and be like, look, you're here. It sucks. I get it. This is called the chasm of death. It's month 4. You've published 32 posts and you're wondering, does this stuff really work? And it does, as long as you get to post 80, 90, or 100. But if you stop at month 4 with 30 posts, you're never going to see traffic. And you've seen this over and over and over again. And that's probably one of the number one calls that you get from customers who have been on a subscription for 4 months. And they're like, Adam, I'm a little concerned here. I've paid you for 4 months now and I'm not making any money. And you're like, yeah, that's the point. Like, it takes years, not months. And so my ability to communicate with them and to be honest and be real with them and to help them get their expectations in the right spot 100% works. But mate, I could sell so many insulated coffee mugs. I would put offers together. I would do it would be a free plus shipping offer. I would give you on a dope free thing and you'd buy it. And I would sell you a kitchen set on the upsell. I would figure out a way to make that profitable forever and ever. Another one example I like to use. Where's my fountain pen? Fountain pens. I love fountain pens. They're like, you get ink all over your fucking hands. They're stupid. I don't know why I like these things, but they just make me feel kind of cool. And like, you got to get your own ink pieces for them. And they're messy. Like, literally, I get ink on my hands all the time. I could sell so many fountain pens, free plus shipping, upsells. Like, information's easier, but I do think I could step into any niche because I built the skills. Because there is a skill to understanding the hunger within a market, to understanding the unmet desires within a mass market, and then crafting an offer that meets those desires, right? We can't, I'm literally coming out of the Eugene Schwartz book right now. We cannot create desire. You can't create desire in any human being to build an affiliate marketing website. All you can do is tap into the existing desire within the marketplace. People want passive income. I want something for nothing. I want to do nothing and I want to make money. Adam, you're my guy. I want to do nothing and I want to make money. So that's, and they think that there's this, the fake gurus have, or the greedy gurus have associated affiliate marketing with passive income, which is untrue. It is active, right? My interviewing you was active, right? My reviewing of the content y'all create is active. My improving the content, because I'm not going to let it just go as is. I'm going to add more pictures because y'all give me one. I'm going to make sure there's 4, right? Like, so we will continue and improve it. But it's this idea, y'all are tapping into the desire of a marketplace. Bingo. And that's all the game is find an audience. What's their big unmet desire, a mass market desire, and let's go tap into it. And when my wife and I started in the meditation space, meditation was not common. CEOs didn't talk about meditation. Meditation was things that woo-woo people talked about behind closed doors. Today, meditation's mainstream, right? And so we were in front of a great directional move. Was that intentional? Was that divine alignment? Who cares? It happened. Affiliate marketing right now, I think y'all are in a really good position because if you even just look at the multiples, I mean, affiliate sites are selling for 55x. Like, what? This is stupid. It's a great time to be a publisher. Buying websites, that might not be a good idea, but we'll find out in the future, I guess.
Do you put out any content about this? You creating the desire and creating the angles and stuff.
No, but there's a great book that covers it in depth. It's called Breakthrough Advertising. I don't make dick if you buy it. Sorry for using. I'm swearing like a sailor over here, but you're British, so I think you're a UKite. So I think that's okay. Would I call you a Brit or a UK? Which way
Brit,
am I offending?
Yeah, a Brit. Just don't call me English.
Will not, sir. But no, like, I make no money off of this. BreakthroughAdvertisingBook.com. It's 125 books, and it's all in here, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like this is not even a big book, right? It really isn't. And so I'm just pulling off the greats. So that book and the Making Ads Pay, like, you just understand that the world works in certain ways. People are trying to fill needs. And what's interesting is people are filling a lot of brain chemistry needs, dopamine, serotonin, right? When somebody goes and buys a Ferrari, they want to feel significant. The feeling of significance is the brain releasing serotonin, straight up. So like when we understand why people do what they do, why they're motivated to do the things that they do, we can sell based on those emotional needs that they're actually trying to fill. And that's when we start to make the sales. And for anybody who's like, dude, that brain stuff, like dopamines, and like, it's true. That's why Instagram is so dangerous. That's why suicide rates for 24-year-old girls have gone up drastically, because the dopamine, serotonin, and the brain chemistry effects of these social networks are insane. There's a book called Habits of a Happy Brain that's really, really enlightening. It's a study on how the brain works and why we do what we do. For anybody who just was like, oh, the brain stuff, I need to learn the brain stuff.
Yeah. This reminds me
of... I read a lot. Actually, I don't read anything. I listen a lot. I read maybe one book a year. I listen to probably a book a week.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Do you... Back in the day, I remember I just looked for his website. It's still live. There was a guy in the affiliate space running dating offers with paid traffic, a guy called Finch, and he ran a website called Finch Sells. And I don't know if it's still on his website. His website's live. He hasn't been live for a long time. But I was on his mailing list, and he always used to talk about how he created desire and come at these different angles for dating sites on his newsletter. And I always remember thinking back then, like, this guy he was crazy successful. He left when he was late 20s, and he hasn't come back since because he made enough money to leave. And he's like, that's it now, I'm done. I'm going to live my life. Bye. Bye. And that was it. And he's left. And he hasn't come back, but he talked about all the same things you just talked about. Yeah.
Because that's how the game works, right? And people get it. And so it even works down into affiliate marketing sites, right? So if you think of, like, I use all the time, the best blank for blank, right? The best chef's knife for left-handed cook. So technically, it's the same knife. It's just a knife. There's no real left-handed knives. But the lefty thinks in that moment, I'm unique. The world's built against me. Are you a lefty by any chance, mate?
No, my wife is though.
Oh, so all right. So you have a connection to this. Like she is a left-handed woman living in a right-handed person's world, and everything's built opposite for her. The fridge opens the wrong way. Like, to her, everything opens wrong. And like all the righties listening to this are like, what are you even talking about? This is empathy. This is understanding that when she searches for a chef's knife, she wants the one that's made for her. So I create content that meets her. It's going to be the same best chef's knife that I recommend on my other posts. I'm simply finding the keyword. I'm finding the unmet desire. She wants a knife that's specifically marketed for her, built for her. Yeah. Bingo. That's what we affiliate marketers do with this same type of idea over and over and over. So you might recommend one knife. This is the best Santuco knife. This is the best knife, best all-around knife. That same knife might be the number one knife on 80 different posts on your website. And you just explain to people in 80 different ways to 80 different segments of your audience, 80 different separate desires, that this is the one.
That makes sense. That's the way to approach it. And then it doesn't come down to the features; it comes down to the benefits, right? So we tell our team, don't write about features, write about benefits.
It's made for you. You're just gonna feel like glass in your hands as it cuts through the tomatoes, right? Like it's.
Yeah. I'm not a writer, by the way. I've written my own stuff for years, but it's that kind of stuff. Okay. Well, going back to your main site then.
Yep.
One thing which I want to ask about, and I don't know if you've done anything actively or not, is link building. The site's obviously an authority, and I'm assuming over the years it's gained tons of links from this awesome content you put out. Did you do anything? Did you do any active link building? Or were you just relying on just the quality of this content?
Goodwill of human beings. In the first 7 years, no link building whatsoever. For 7-8 years, none. Zero link building. Just write enough great content that people are like, wow, this is awesome. They share it. Like it's when the philosophy, when the heart and everything's in the right way. Since then, we have done some link magnet and outreach type stuff. We use the team Reach Creator. They're in the UK. Steve Braunley, tell him Miles said hi if you call him. He's like, it's expensive. It's $2,500 for like 10 links. But they create a unique piece of content that has a high likelihood of people linking to it because they do the research, they found that other people link to it, and then they go create the content and they do the outreach for them. And Adam, I think you guys offer that service too. So if I just plugged one of your competitors, let's make sure everyone knows if you offer the service that you do as well.
I was just going to say, that sounds like our skyscraper service.
Perfect. Okay. So, and the reason is everybody's doing it because it works like that. It does work. It's just a total pain in the ass. It takes a lot of time to do that kind of research. Now on my affiliate sites and on my Miles Beckler stuff, I've tried all kinds of crazy shit, right? So like my wife's brand is like, I can't mess that up, right? I could, I choose not to. So I'm very conservative with my approach. And I have proven to myself, and Matt Giovanisi, who runs Swim University, he does zero link building and he never will. And he hates link building. He just creates stuff that's so good, you have to link to it. He made like a rap video about pool cleaning, and his site's about cleaning pools. And he makes this rap video about pool cleaning, and the pool industry just shared it massively. And he just got a ton of backlinks for that. So he comes up with crazy, awesome, next level stuff that people just can't help but share because it is the most valuable resource on that. So on her brand, I wanted to treat it as sacred because like I can't kill my golden goose. I want that thing to keep laying some golden eggs. On my stuff, I'm like, on the Miles Beckler brand, I'm like, hit it. I hit YouTube videos with crazy spammy ads, or crazy spammy links and stuff, and just trying different things. Just like, did it break my YouTube channel? Did it, like, I don't care about that YouTube channel. Like it's a big thing now. But in the early days, I was like, it's a testing bed for me. I think backlinks are not a save all. They're not as magic. They do help, they can help, but ultimately if your content sucks, if the humans finding your content read it and they're like, this sucks, this isn't helpful, backlinks are going to save you, right? Like you're missing the core step. It might add a little bit more attention. I've even hired people to do Haro outreach for me, all kinds of stuff. And it's expensive. That world's just so expensive because let's go back to the desire. And Adam, how often do you hear from people like, hey, Adam, I think I need a couple of backlinks. What do you think? Should I add some backlinks, or how many backlinks should I add, Adam? Like how many conversations do you have about backlinks?
Yeah, so many.
Right. Because the desire is there in the marketplace, right? Because all the gurus and all the people online, PBNs, private blog networks, and before it was link wheels and link pyramids. And I just watched people get completely slapped and they just de-indexed because they did shady backlink building in 09, 10, 11, 12. Completely de-indexed. I knew a guy who lost a $40,000 a month business down to zero because he was using shady backlinks. So like I bring that experience, but there is still a desire for a shortcut. Oh, I want a shortcut. Isn't linked. So I have 3 posts. I haven't made $1 million yet. I should probably send backlinks to my 3 posts, right? That's the shortcut I need. So the desire's there, and it's good business to offer solutions for those desires while keeping them in the right perspective, because it's like, I'm going to add your backlinks to your 3 posts, but until you get to 100 posts, like nothing's going to happen, mate. Like you got to like.
I literally had a conversation with someone recently where they said, I've got this site, we've got 5 posts on there. I don't have much budget. How do I improve it significantly? I'm like, well, it's a brand new site. You have 5 posts. You need content and lots of content, and it's going to cost. Like if that's the reality of it, to be honest, it's not going to be quick.
2 years. Spend 2 years crafting hundreds of the best posts that world has ever seen, and you will be so successful. And the shortcut that nobody wants to acknowledge, I didn't want to acknowledge it for years. The shortcut is to literally step up for 3 to 5 years. And when you put out the best, most helpful, most useful content in your space for 3 to 5 years straight, you will literally rise to the top in any niche. I don't care what it is. I just did it in plain view on my YouTube channel. I published 700 videos in 5 years. I am well known in our space. I'm going up against the best funded, the strongest internet marketers in the world. The best marketers in the world are who I decided to take on, who also have huge budgets because they sell scammy $10,000 products, right? Like that's who I went up against, and I beat them by making videos on my non-flagship cell phone. Why? With my Logitech webcam that I have here today, right? Like no DSLRs. No, I don't play that game. It's the utility value of my content. My shit's actionable. When somebody wanted to learn how to do Facebook ads, I actually showed them how to do Facebook ads. And they're like, oh my God, you actually showed me? Like I thought every Facebook ad video on YouTube was a plug for a Facebook ad course. And I actually showed them, like, click here, do that, click here, do it. Because I'm in the trenches every day. And it took 5 years. And I've generated enough cash flow from that I've been able to pretty much retire. Like I'm done. Like I'm fiddling with things that would be fun and enjoyable to fiddle with. I am managing my assets and I'm managing my wealth is kind of like my full-time job from this point on for the rest of my life. And I'm in my 30s still. Yeah. Because I put 5 years of intense work. Wifey's business, it took us about 7 or 8 because I didn't have the confidence. I hadn't gone through the cycle once. Your second business is easier than your first business. It's just straight up the way it is. So that's why the second time with the Miles Beckler brand, I knew my first video, I was like, this is gonna be a fun 3 to 5 year experience. And here it is 5 years after, boom. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Nice. I saw something recently about, we talked about, and I feel like this is something you may have done back in the day about like shady link building tactics.
Oh yeah.
And someone had built this website all about like medication, like testosterone and steroids and stuff like that. And they'd come at it from the premise of I used steroids for years and it ruined my life and I hated it. And I'm building this website to get it out there that you shouldn't use it. And can you share this? Can you share my website? If you can link back to it, that would be great. I'm just trying to get this message out there. And then somebody said, hey, hold on. You've got a store on there. And he said, yeah, but I'm just trying to rank my product. So if someone clicks on it and I get to the top and they click on my link and they go to my store, that I'm not really selling it. I'm just going to say, these are the dangers. And then everyone's like, mate, you're doing this so you can get loads of backlinks. And then you're just going to swap it out. Like that's all he's going to do is just like build this store up. And I've never seen anyone use that tactic before, but it was just blatant, literally like, hey, I'm bait and switch on a big scale.
And people do anything, right? What's the shortcut? What's my shortcut? Like I want the result. I want it now. I don't have the wherewithal to realize it's a 5-year plan and I could build a lifelong business. So I will risk burning my reputation in order to try to get it sooner. And boy, it takes a long time to build a reputation and it is so easy and fast to kill a reputation. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's great. I think we've covered everything on the site stuff. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you just touched on it there, is, and you mentioned it before the call, like you're pulling back from projects now. And it's something that you said it yourself, we don't talk about a lot in this industry. Everyone's always striving for more, pushing for more, wanting to acquire more, get bigger, but
more stuff. Another Lambo. Stuff. Now I need a private jet so I could out Cardone the Cardone. And my entry level Lambo is no longer important. So next year I have to get the fancy Lambo that has $4,000 oil changes. And then the year after that, now I got to get into Rolls Royces. And now I got to get 2 Rolls Royces. Yeah. It's a trap.
Clients we speak with, they most of them, their aim is income, like job replacement income to start with. Yep. But they don't think beyond that. And I'm guilty of that. Like we were talking beforehand, I had a meeting with my financial planner this week and he said, how much is enough for you per month to live on? And I couldn't answer that. Like, I don't know what the answer is. But you've cracked that. You've figured that out. Yep. You're in your 30s and you know how. Talk to me about that because I think that's it's a valuable advice and a valuable lesson.
Totally. So I was living in Mexico at one point. We were full-time nomads for like 5 years. So while we built the company and the brands, as it was web-based, we could live anywhere. And it was actually cheaper for us to live in places like Mexico and Costa Rica and Bali on the beach than it was to live in a decent spot in like a suburb in the Bay Area or something, right? In San Francisco area type thing, in a shit suburb, right? So we played this geo arbitrage game. And in Mexico, I was living in this house and the dude who owned it, it was a gorgeous place. The dude who owned it was an 85-year-old American guy. He had been retired since he was 35 years old. And the house was his architectural vision. It was like, dude, it was like a modern art museum. This place was a huge cement 4-story thing with just these views. Yeah. It was incredible. $900 a month. It would have cost at least $6,000 a month in Southern California, at least. And I had student loan debt. I had over $50,000 in student loan debt. And I lived above this guy for 6 months, 8 months or so. And just like learn more about him and how much he just loved his life and just strolling through this little pueblo, this little town in Mexico. And just like the fact that he'd been retired for 50 years spurred an idea of like, it's possible. Okay. So that's the first thing is like to see somebody and like fuck a Lambo, mate. I want 50 years of just wandering around. He did cool projects. He's lived in dozens of countries and he was just happy. And it's like, that's what I want. So then I figured out, I asked him, what do you do? And it's like, pay off all the debt, save up. And then I started to learn about the whole FIRE movement, FIRE, financial independence, retire early. And so I don't think they have it all figured out, but like Mr. Money Mustache is one of the gurus in that space. Another guy, JL Collins, they talk about, if you say, so there's two variables, how much do you spend and how much do you save, right? Like what are your investments and how much does your life cost? And those are the two variables we can fiddle with. So if your life costs very little and you save up a lot, that means you can build up investments quickly. When your investments are able to, the cash flow from your investments without eating into the principal, when the cash flow of the investments is able to cover the lifestyle you want to live, you're free. Like that's it, right? So the income from the investments is more than the cost of life. So if I keep my lifestyle low, no Lambos, no private jets for miles, because I would rather retire and garden and travel. And I do have a $200,000 camper van that's pretty dope. But so I can splurge too, right? Like we can live, I live on a 20-acre parcel, 3,000 plus square foot fucking estate. So I have very nice things, but it's only the key nice things that really add enjoyment to my life. So it's like, okay, so my life costs this many $1,000s per month now. So I need to get enough assets to generate more cash flow than that. So in the traditional FIRE world, there's something called the 4% rule. So if your money's in index funds, you can take out 4% per year without touching your principal, which means you need 25x your annual needs, your annual cost of living. So if you just tally up how much your life costs, so okay, my life's $5,000 per month. So what is that for a year? Okay, that's $60,000 per year. Then you multiply it by 25. And I'm not going to try to do math here live. I believe that's going to be $1.something million, but it's really not that much money. Okay. And that's it. That's the target. So I have to get that much in index funds. Now, I don't fully buy into the index fund game. And I know a lot about affiliate marketing and I know how to build cash flow generating websites. So I've added on a layer of investing in what I know, which is building affiliate sites and building cash flow generating sites, which I have several brands generating cash flow. I get many streams of income. So I play the traditional investing game a bit, but I also reinvest in digital assets and stuff as well. And that's it. And I reached the point where I've got a pickup truck that I love. I've got the house that I love. I've got my RV camper van that I love. I've got everything that I like, technically everything I want in my life. Anything I want, I just can go buy because I have the cash there available for it. So at that point I was like, well, why would I keep working? Like, what's the point? And this is where back to that idea, the habits of a happy brain, I'm not being driven by serotonin. I'm not being driven by dopamine. I don't think that a new iPhone is going to make me any happier. Literally $250 flagship phone, cracked screen. I made hundreds of YouTube videos on this thing. It's sufficient, right? Like that, it works for me. So it's just kind of like knowing myself, understanding brain chemistry a little bit, understanding the math behind early retirement, and then committing to it. And so when I got really focused on paying off my student loan debt, I think my last student loan payment was $8,000 to pay off my student loans. So I was able to pay off $50,000 in student loan debt in about 8 months when I got really serious. And it was $2,000, then it was $3,000, $4,000, and the last payment was $8,000 a month. When that was gone, I had a new surplus of $8,000 per month that was looking for a home. And I could have bought any car in the world with $8,000 a month, not any car in the world, within reason, right? Or I could have stuffed it into investments to get it ready to pay for 50-year-old miles, 60-year-old miles, 70-year-old miles, 80-year-old miles, 90-year-old miles. And I started to associate positive brain chemicals, dopamine, excitement, happiness around investing, which is what I'm doing with your company, right? I'm investing in yet another website that you guys are going to build for me. And the theory is the cash flow is going to be, in 3 years, the cash flow will pay back everything I put in and more, which is what we want investments to do. And this is it. So now I just manage my investments. I make sure that I manage my expectation, my cash flow, and I hang out in the garden. I camp. I do some podcasts because I think this is fun, right? So I get to now do what I would enjoy. And I'm on this because I thought it would be fun to hang out and chat because I really actually like chatting with people. And we live in an age of not really sitting around a pub hanging out much. So this is kind of like the pub-like moments. I don't even drink. So, this is kind of the type of the moment in the moment that we get to have. So I get to do what's fun and what would be enjoyable. And now I think the game of crafting offers is actually fun and enjoyable. And like that lavender idea and that soap idea, like, mate, I'm literally thinking like I'm about to plant not a quarter acre, maybe a tenth of an acre. I'm going to plant of lavender. And I'm like, I really don't need to get into a lavender business, but like, why? Like, just to prove I could. And I might, my camper van, it's a Sprinter van. They're like 4-wheel drive, totally built out, like gnarly vans. I'm like, I could make like a print on demand t-shirt company. And it's like, I don't need the money. It would be a waste of money. It would be a waste, but it would be fun. It would be literally something fun for me to do and give back to a community. So it's like, now that I've built this skill of understanding audiences, understanding marketplaces, understanding desires, and somebody wants to wear a van shirt because they want to show the world serotonin that they're a van kind of a person. Like, man, it'd just be too easy, like, to put that all together. And like, I don't know, I could make a thing and send it off. My virtual assistant can run an Etsy store for me, and it's all automated, and it would just be another thing that generates cash flow that I just thought was fun. And like, so that's where I'm at now. And it's kind of cool. So, and I made the decision, I'm just not chasing the YouTube algorithm anymore. I'm not going to keep showing up, because like for 5 years, I chased the YouTube algorithm. I wanted to prove that someone could build something from scratch with zero experience, I had no YouTube. I just went all in on YouTube, and my first videos were absolute shite. They were terrible, and they didn't get better until video 150 or so. The numbers didn't really start to get exciting until 200 plus videos published. And I did that to show the world yet again, because I can tell you all day long, you need to publish 100 to 200 posts over the course of 2 or 3 years for your affiliate site to grow. Or I could show you with my actions. So I did both. I told people what had to be done while I was doing it. And now my YouTube channel lives as a testimony to the path and the process and how well it works. And that channel, it's spitting out $50,000 a month. Like, from views I'm getting on old videos I did, like, I didn't even expect that to, like, I was like, okay, cool. So that's just there. And like, all right, I'm done chasing YouTube. So what would be fun? Like, I don't know, lavender soaps and van shirts. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm in my garden fiddling around, chasing my cat, watching my cat eat gophers, and just, I don't know. Ta-da.
Me and my wife are watching.
What do old retired people do? That's like, I don't know. They drive around in their RVs, they garden, and they pet their cat. Like, cool, do that.
Me and my wife have just started watching Jeremy Clarkson. Do you know Jeremy Clarkson from one of the Top Gear presenters?
Yeah, I do.
He's big in the US. He's big in the UK.
Yeah, no, totally.
And he's got a show on Amazon Prime now about it's called Jeremy Clarkson's Farm. And he's in his 60s now, and he doesn't need the money, he's got this massive farm, and he's never lived there, and he's always paid someone to work the farm for him. And he just decided, like, I'm going to go and I'm going to work this farm. I'm going to be a farmer for a year. And this series is just him, and he's making no money. He's making loads of mistakes. He's like, he's
so cynical, and he's just got that delivery
he's loving life though. He's literally he's herding up these sheep with this drone, and it's not working, and he's like, this is crap, and he's out till midnight chasing his sheep, and he's like, this is so much fun. Like, I love this. I'm not making any money. I'm working so hard, but it's fulfilling, and I love it. And that's exactly, I think, where you are right now in your life. Like, just do that stuff.
The word you nailed it in a word. It's fulfillment, right? What is fulfillment, and where does fulfillment come from? And I've learned through watching the efforts of others where fulfillment's not. And I lost a mentor. He passed away due to the big crazy thing. And I would be on the phone with this guy twice a week for a couple hours each time. People pay this guy 10, 20 grand a month to get one phone call with him. And we just hit it off. He's in his 50s. And dude's made over $1 million a year since 2003. So he's literally done at least $1 million a year in internet marketing stuff for 18 years. And we chat all day, every day. And he passed away recently. And it was very sudden, and he was 50. And that hit me, man. And it's like, damn, like every day is special. And nobody came on this earth to grind 12, 15 hours per day on a laptop. With that said, I've grinded 10, 12, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week for 12 plus years. Literally, I am a hustle. I am a fan of hustle. I think people have to hustle. If you want to clear the hurdle, if you want to achieve escape velocity, which is what I've done, it takes an immense amount of energy. And I stepped up and I did it. The trap is people start to that's all they know. And they just keep hustle till it's game over. And I've seen other gurus who are now tattooing themselves all over themselves. They keep buying new Rolls Royces and this, and they're drinking a lot, and they just look so empty and so unfulfilled. And you can shove a Ferrari into that feeling of emptiness inside, and you're still going to be fucking empty inside. And that is the worst trick that mainstream media has played on humanity. And we are all programmed to think that things are going to make us happy, because that's what advertising works. The other thing I learned from all this great stuff that I've been reading and studying, and the truth is very, very different. Fulfillment for everyone is different. It could be the freedom to walk your kid to school every day, and to be there every single day, and to walk them home, and to be the football coach for your team, right? For their team. And to be that engaged with your child could be the most fulfilling thing in your life. Great, go do that. Like, that's what it's about. So we put our time and our energy intensely in building systems, web-based cash flow systems that generate enough cash flow for us to live the life of our dreams. When the life of our dreams is focused on these kind of things that actually lead us to fulfillment, ta-da, magic can happen in life. And that I think that's the goal of life. I think that's the positive outcome that I and others are deeply after. So that's kind of how I got to where I'm at.
I think the hard part in all that equation, and the hardest part, is figuring out what fulfills you.
Yeah.
Like, if you've grinded for so long, so many hours, like, and you don't know anything else, like, I'm in a similar boat. I'm on your journey. You know, I've been doing this for a couple of years and grinding very hard for a couple of years.
Yep.
I'm definitely on that exit trajectory now, but I don't know what fulfills me. I mean, I've got my wife and my child, and I love spending time with them and stuff. But aside from that, it sounds crazy. I was invited to watch the cricket last week, and I was sitting next to some guy I didn't know, and he said, so what are you into? And I was like, working and making money. And like, I don't watch sport. I don't have a life outside of doing what I'm doing right now. And I struggle to see, like, past when I don't have to do all this, like, what is that fulfillment for?
And I think that's okay though too, right? Like, are you in your 30s?
Yeah, I'm 34. Yeah,
exactly. So like, and I think that's what the 30s are about. Is like, so the 30s we're in this. So the 20s were dumb. Right? Or just running into walls. Like, how's this world work? I'm going to get drunk and shit. Like, that's what the 20s are for. Yeah. And then the 30s are like, okay, let me try to pull my shit together and build like a stable foundation for a child. Let me birth something. It can be businesses, it can be children's and families, it can be both. But that's what that phase is. And then the 40s is when things are like, okay. So, you start to think like, well, fitness is important, health and well-being. If you want to be around for your child as long as you can on this planet, you might want to start taking longevity and health and well-being seriously, because if you don't, there's a chance you will take an early exit from the planet. How do I know? I just look around, right? This is not crazy. You just look around. Like I can literally go look around. So that's one thing. And for my wife and I, time in nature is we just hiking every day. We go out and hike. I've always wanted to live in the forest. I love snowboarding, paddleboarding, things to do in nature. I relax in nature, right? Camping. So that's where the camper van fits in. I've got a lake here where we can paddleboard, and it's just, you find those things that you're like, this feels good. Like, okay, cool. Like, and it can be chilling in a hammock, right? It can be traveling with a family. It can be tooling around in a caravan. If and when the EU opens back up, even though y'all might not be invited, but you might be, just hop on, get the rail pass and just go see the sights. Like, you are so close to so many interesting things and so much old, weird stuff. Like, you can just, you start geeking out on history. There's a PBS show, which that's public broadcasting in the US. So it's kind of like BBC, but not really, actually. It's its own little thing. So it's called National Parks, America's Best Idea. And it's a documentary by Ken Burns, and it's like a 6-part documentary. And just watching that, the history of the national parks, and like, it just fires me. It's like, I got to see that, right? I got to see that mountain. Like, so there's a mountain in Alaska called Denali. It's a 20,000 foot peak. It's the largest mountain in North America. I've seen 20,000 foot peaks in South America, in Peru. 20,000 foot peak, mate. It's like, it's huge. It's just like, I have to see it. So I'm going to drive my van up there if and when Canada will let Americans, and it's these kinds of adventures. And I think that adventures and journeys and experiences that get out in motion, doing things, that's fulfilling at a soul level for me. And that's why I seek those kinds of things out. And it came from, for a while I thought hanging out at beach bars in Mexico was fulfilling. And I thought having margaritas at noon because I was an entrepreneur was fulfilling. And it turns out it's not, I didn't feel right after 4 years of drinking margaritas at noon every day. I was like, I should probably dry out a little bit. It's getting a little sticky in here. Right. And so sometimes we learn by going in the wrong direction. Just stay open to, what do you want to do with your family? Because mate, time with family, time with the kid, time just out experiencing the world. What's it all about? I don't know. It's important to think these questions though, because you're right. So many people just go, more. Now I have all the things. My lifestyle costs a lot. There's people in the internet marketing space. I know, there's one guy, I won't say his name. He loves Rolls Royces though. So people probably know who he is. I've heard his lifestyle costs $400,000 a month. Think about that, mate. Wow. So he's got alimony, he's got child support, he's got a new wife, he's got 2 houses, he's got 3 Rolls Royces. I've heard secondhand, and I have no fucking clue if this is true or not. I know it's hundreds of thousands. I've heard him say in a course that I bought of his that he needs to make about $2.5 million a year to just maintain. Think about that. That's just the treadmill turned way up. It looks really flashy on social media, but when you think about what life would be like to have to bring in $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a month, every month, $100,000 a week, every week, you have to hit those numbers. Or you're broke.
Stress.
Right? So what's the opposite of that? Okay, well, live frugally, find things I like to do, and just find that balance. And we've been looking for this all along the journey. And now I want to share that because I think our world needs this, our industry needs this kind of an idea. And this is not flashy. It does not look great on Instagram. My Instagram has pictures of my zucchinis and my camper van. And it's whatever. It just doesn't look that cool. I'm not here to look cool, but I am here to be a template and an archetype for a new way of doing things in our industry that actually creates freedom. Because I think deep down, that's what everybody wants is freedom.
Yeah. No, agreed. Wow, I think that's a great place to end it. I think that's awesome. I think our audience is going to love this episode. It's a bit different. We don't just talk about sites. I think we've talked about a lot things in more depth than I normally do. So appreciate your time, Maz. I think it's been great. Yeah. Where can people? You mentioned your the affiliate marketing crash course that you put out for free. Yep. That's on your website, right? MazBeckler.com. Yep. People can get it there, and they can.
There's an orange button up on the navigation. YouTube. Yep, YouTube. You can find it. We can put some link in the show notes. Yeah, totally. You can find it. Miles Beckler crash course, and it's just everything I know, right? I don't need the cash. I wanted to make sure that there was the right way, and my wife nailed it. So what I've done and what I'm doing now is when I started in this game, I was 19 years old. A dude in college randomly told me, "Here's how to spam MySpace." And from there, I did figure out over the course of 7 years how to build a real business online. And no one laid out the path. Even in their expensive courses that I bought a lot of, no one actually laid out the path. So I'm creating the content that I wish I had when I was 19, 20, 21 years old. And I'm laying it out for free for anybody who's willing to do the work. And I'm being very honest in how much work it takes. I hope I haven't turned anyone off from doing the work, because the other side of that is that I'm in my 30s and I'm done. I can just fiddle around in my dope camper van and play on I built a snowboard run on my property because I like snowboarding and I don't like sitting on lifts with other people. So I just literally hike up and snowboard down at my I want to show what can be done. And it's the prize is for some worth the effort. And I think you agree. And that's what I hope your audience takes away.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. Awesome. Is that the best place for people to reach out if they want to get in touch with you, through the website?
Yeah, website, Twitter. I'm most accessible through Twitter, I think, honestly. I open that goofy app and chat with random people about stupid stuff all the time on there. So pop in. I'm Miles Beckler on Twitter. I'm Miles Beckler everywhere. I'm on Instagram too. But I appreciate any feedback, and I really appreciate your time, Adam.
Awesome. Thanks, Miles. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon.
Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you're listening to the podcast version of this episode, please subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please rate and review, as this will allow us to grow our audience and create more shows like this one. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to be the first to know about any new episodes that we release. Until the next episode, goodbye.